Strange things are happening on our planet. Two-headed deers, see-through heads, and even mutant lobsters. The absolutely bizarre barrel-eye fish, most famously known for its transparent dome head. It's a transparent shield that helps protect the fish's eyes, and it is extremely fragile. Whenever scientists try to take it out from its main habitat, a lot of the times it's reported that they get severely injured in the process. The eyes in this fluid-filled head are able to rotate in different directions, usually pointing upwards to see towards the light, but will also come down forward when it's hunting for its next meal. The barrel-eye fish's eyes are tubular, meaning it's specifically designed to allow more light to come into them, and allowing them to easily detect silhouettes around them. Originally, scientists thought that the two dark circles in front of its face were its eyes, but it's actually their nostrils. If you hadn't already guessed, they are in fact a deep-sea fish, living as far down as 3,300 feet below the surface, well within the twilight zone. Come on, you won't be finding this alien thing on any of your beaches. They also love to steal food from our lovely friends the siphonophores. Because their eyes are developed behind a protective wall, they don't have to worry about them getting stung, therefore making it much easier to maneuver around their stinging appendages. Have you ever seen a panda ant? It's literally an ant with the same color scheme as a panda. They're also known as the velvet ant, and can be found in several parts across the globe that include sandy or gravel areas. Panda ants today are usually found around southwestern United States and some parts of Mexico. Also, they're not really an ant. They're actually a species of wingless wasps. The panda ant looks like these to serve as a warning from nearby predators, letting you know well in advance that if you mess with them, you'll get a mean sting. They also have a terrifying nickname labeled a cow hunter. Even though they can't fully harm a cow, they can knock them unconscious. Unlike regular wasps and ants, they don't really live in colonies, and like to live solitary lives searching for nectar, honeydew, and other insect eggs. While usually most species have the female being bigger of the two, the male panda ants are the ones with more mass, and will be the ones to carry them during mating season. The males are also nocturnal hunters, while the females will be the ones to go out and search throughout the day. There sadly isn't that much research done on them, but still cool nonetheless. A six-clawed mutant lobster was found just off the coast of Massachusetts, almost eerily resembling a human-shaped hand. They named this rare phenomena Lola, and she was placed in an aquarium at West Boothbay Harbor. Scientists speculate that she could be the rarest lobster mutation to ever exist with this disorder, possibly even ranking her above the famous half-red and half-black lobster. A senior scientist at the marine-based lobster conservancy, Diane Cohen, had an explanation as to why this could have occurred. Lobsters are well known as segmented animals, meaning their body is divided into repeating sections. What happens on the left should be happening on the right, basically, unless something happens in the creature's creation where certain genes didn't give or receive a signal properly. She explains that there had been reports of 3-clawed lobsters before, but to have 6 claws was a whole new record. There was also the possibility of Lola losing a claw sometime in the wild, and since lobsters can basically regenerate their limbs, something probably happened where it resulted in this monstrosity. Have you ever seen the Mata Mata turtle before? They are terrifying and one of the largest freshwater turtles that inhabit South America. Their appearance is baffling, as its body and shells are covered in what looks like bumpy spikes, with their neck and head appearing flat and elongated. They have a wide mouth to help them suck in smaller prey, and a long snout, and on either side of this are 2 small shiny eyes. But if you are a female Mata Mata, the more strange they look, the more attractive they will appear to you. Their strange appearance helps them in not being eaten, because not many predators want to go after animals that look like rotting wood. As mentioned prior, they like to suck in smaller fish into their mouths, and it was observed at an aquarium where they would corner a smaller fish before lunging its head forward and sucking them up like a vacuum. Once their prey has been caught, it then travels down their throats that also have spines in it to keep them down. It is extremely uncommon for freshwater turtles to need this tactic, but it's probably used to help them hold onto food when they're diving. It's also speculated that they might be very intelligent creatures, since some researchers saw these turtles using tank pumps to help with airflow to keep their prey pinned down. Scary stuff. a double-mouthed trout was found in a creek somewhere in southern Idaho, and boy did it spark some major controversy. The mining company Simplot managed to create so much selenium in the nearby rivers that it caused a bunch of the wildlife permanent deformities. Specifically the two-mouthed trout, this was an offspring of fish, and proof of the ongoing harm being done towards these ecosystems. Some of these resulted in birds with missing eyes, twisting feet, and some of their brains poking out. Selenium, although a natural reoccurring element, is also a very harmful result from constant mining and coal burning. There is a level to how much selenium should be produced by this, but Simplot apparently went way above that line. The company, however, since then has been pretty low on the whole "we need to fix this" idea, and if anything, they allegedly didn't seem to care. What's even more crazy is that Tennessee's politicians were also trying to deregulate the laws against selenium altogether. Any studies done on the matter that were sent to the Simplot company about them being biased and highly questionable, they were completely shut down. This article from People's World was also written back in 2012, so I'm not entirely sure what the updates are on this strange case. The ballooning syndrome, a rare phenomenon where a hedgehog will puff up like a balloon. Zeppelin the hedgehog was found along the roadside somewhere in Scotland when a person noticed how abnormally puffed up this hedgehog was. Immediately, they called in the Scottish SPCA, Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, and they reported that it was the worst case of ballooning they had ever seen, and the hedgehog was extremely lucky to be brought in when it did. The balloon syndrome happens when a hedgehog, somewhere along the way, gets struck really hard by an animal or a car. The strike happens right after the perfect moment when the animal's glottis, the flaps that close or open while we breathe, is closed, and the trapped air inside the lungs get almost squeezed under the pressure, almost popping into a tiny tear. So every time the hedgehog would breathe in, some of that air would escape through the small puncture, but it wouldn't go back out through the lungs on the exhale. As a result, over time the hedgehog balloons from the excess of air in its body. The researchers, however, were able to fix this mess though, allowing some of the air to be released while also trying to figure out where the small tear might have happened. A two-headed deer was discovered in Minnesota woods. It was all by accident too, with a hunter just casually searching these woods for some mushrooms when he stumbled upon the young deer. It was a conjoined twin deer, with two heads sticking out through one body. This was a phenomena because although conjoined twins are nothing new, this was actually the first time conjoined deers were ever brought to full term and birthed. What they discovered after an MRI was even more fascinating. They realized that they actually had two hearts, two esophagi, and two forestomachs, but one of them being blocked off. A sad note about this though, the deer was found partially groomed, meaning the mother, after making the delivery, still had her instincts to care for it before she realized what the situation was. Animal anomalies never fail to both amaze and terrify me. What are your favorites? Let me know down below, and I will see you all in the next video.